Why, hello there, Nice Joe here. I do hope this video finds you well. Today I'm bringing you a review of this Spyderco Resilience. This is a budget Spyderco. And a big one. This is the larger brother of, I believe, the Tenacious, which would be the more reasonable sized variant. But I like the big one, so I got the big one to check out. Let us get right into specs. No wasting time here. And, well, I'm going to waste enough time, right? It's a full review, it's long-form content, the summaries are shorter. But, let's get it right into specs. You have 4¼ inches of blade. This is over 4 inches of blade. 9.5 overall, and 5 and not quite 3/8 on that handle. So, actually, I guess that would be closer to 5¼ wouldn't it? If my math adds up and does math things, you know. So, this is obviously a large knife. This is not going to fall into the category of anything other than a large knife, and therefore, yeah. It's a big knife. It's a very large knife, in fact. I mean, I'd consider large knives at 3.7 inches. This is 4¼ This is a pretty close to very large knife. I guess some would call this a pocket sword. I still really like it. It doesn't bother me. And for Spyderco, it honestly doesn't, like, if you're okay with carrying Spyderco, this is weirdly not feeling like that much more. At least it didn't to me. That's subjective, but yeah. Small knife, some Elementum, full-size knife, Conspirator, it dwarfs them. 2 AA batteries for exactly how much grip length you have. Yeah, you have like almost, even if you had a wrap around, you still have like 2.5 AA batteries of actual grip length. You're not going to struggle to find a spot to sit on this thing. It's also it's actually surprisingly neutral. Like, a lot of Spydercos have a lot of curvatures and stuff like that, but this one's not. This one's pretty straightforward, honestly. It's got some little quirks and little things like that, but it's straightforward and pretty comfortable and neutral, honestly. Thickness. It's not that thick. It's about the same thickness as the Conspirator, maybe a tiny bit thicker. Let's just double check, since we're talking about that, with the calipers. $490. What? That's. Oh, I guess it's actually technically a little thinner than the Conspirator. It really doesn't look it, but when the Conspirator reaches full height, I guess because this chamfer is throwing me off, the Conspirator is over 1/2 inch. So this is just slightly under. So yeah, it's not that thick. Blade stock, 121 thousandths, also not that thick. Behind the edge, I have not sharpened it. It isn't actually due for sharpening. It's held its edge better than I would have expected. Wow, it has a really small edge bevel on it, but it looks like it's, well, that might be part of the reason why it's holding its edge. 6 thousandths of a, Jesus, yeah. It's razor thin behind the edge, and that's definitely helping it keep its bite. It's also full flat grind, so yeah, it gets thicker, but it's not going to get thicker that bad. Honestly, that's really thin. Even if you lay back the edge to, like, I don't know what it's at here, probably around 20 thousandths, but even if you lay it back to like 15 degrees per side, yeah, you're probably not going to get that huge of an edge bevel that fast. It's really, really good at cutting. Let's just put it that way. The weight of the Resilience, 5 ounces. Which is actually pretty good, considering, I mean, normally you get into 5-ounce territory when you hit a 3.75-inch blade. It's a lot bigger, and this is full steel liner, so they've definitely done some weight reduction. In fact, I'm actually surprised that it's not heavier. This is a bit of a downside. You have a T8 pivot, but you have T6 everything else for some reason. Now, I have adjusted these screws to get to work on the centering just a tiny bit. It did end up coming off centered a tiny bit. It came centered, but after a little bit of playing and everything like that, I needed to readjust it. I have messed with these, no problem whatsoever. Very solid. I've also messed with the... Did I have to mess with the clip? Did it come tipped down? I don't remember. If it did, you can look back in the unboxing of this knife, and it would tell you if it came tipped down. For some reason, I feel like I had to mess with this clip for some reason. But I don't like seeing T6s. T8s all around would be preferable, but at least they've held up and done a pretty decent job on them. So, have some decent equipment, and you should probably be fine. Alright, that is the end of the specs section. And again, I'm doing that because I can now see for putting in timestamps into my full reviews. Don't do it on the summaries, you don't really need to, but... Okay. So what are we looking at? Basically, leaf-shaped blade, though it does have a little bit of... Let's see, do I have one of Spyderco's regular... I do not have one of Spyderco's regular leaf-shaped blades. Normally it just like comes down here into a elongated ward cliff. As you can see, there's a little clip on this one, and it also goes up a little bit higher. But it's still pretty close to their standard leaf-shaped blade. I honestly like the blade shape a lot. Great tip access. Oh, pardon me. Great tip access. Tons of straight. Some belly where it's needed, especially on a blade this long. It's a really good blade shape. It's great. And the hump back here, which is, of course, typically present in Spyderco's, I mean, because of the Spidey hole. I don't know. I think I like it almost more on this one. It kind of elongates out, and it sits pretty comfortably for me. So, yeah, no problem. Spyderco's logo here. I don't know why it says Spyderco here when it has the spider here. And I wouldn't mind the spider being up a little higher, but I'm not going to complain. It's just the spider, like, right? That's not bad, and it's also white, right? So it's not even the most noticeable thing on the blade. 8CR13 MOV blade steel. That is the downside. I don't know why Spyderco uses 8CR13 MOV blade steel on its budget and Chinese-made sort of stuff. Really prefer they didn't. Really prefer they stepped that up at least a little bit. Even 9CR would be just a nice one. 14C, 154 CM. That might be asking a bit much. They are probably going to up the price for that. But 14C tends to be around the same price point. Occasionally we see things like is N690? But 9CR would be nice. Just a slight upgrade. It doesn't have to be a major one, but they like using this 8CR on their budget stuff. Designer logo here, and China right over here, which it says right there, yeah. Hold on one second, I gotta attend to a dog. That didn't work. I was attending to the dog, and I hit the wrong button, and I ended the video, so I had to splice them together. Oh well. Where were we? Yes. Plunge grind. Plunge grind, as is typical with Spyderco. They don't really do a plunge grind. They drop the actual... Well, I guess they drop the plunge almost directly down from full thickness to thinness, and then they don't really have to give you any sort of sharpening choil in that sense. The edge termination actually is up here, so you can easily cut in the sharpening choil should you care to right in here. It's a perfectly fine way to do it. And it means you don't really ever have to, if you're okay with a little bit of a smile here, have to really worry about cutting in a sharpening choil if you don't want to. It's the way Spyderco does it, and it's perfectly fine, right? It's kind of gets around any issues. And the stop pin is up here because Spyderco tends to like to use the nubbin on the back end of their stuff. As far as I can tell, they tend to have the tang protrude down a little bit lower, which allows the stop pin to be hit without actually coming close to the edge. So they do some really good things. They do because I'm 6. They do things pretty intelligently in a lot of ways. 8CR is not necessarily what I consider intelligently, but Uh, Ramp. Very comfortable. Very heavy jimping, but surprisingly comfortable to interface with. It would definitely work still well in gloves. No problems whatsoever there. Also, sharp edges on this. You could maybe able to throw like a spark if you really wanted to use this as an outdoor sort of style knife. Actuation is, of course, the spider hole. I'd say it's always the spider hole, right? There's no other methods here, and that's it. This knife is on phosphor bronze washers. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a tighter movement, but it throws really well. It came a lot better than the Spyderco Emphasis that was discontinued, that was a part of their sort of budget line before. This one came a lot nicer, like a lot nicer. This is the Emphasis, and I mean, I've gotten it to a point where it's kind of working, and I've beaten the crap out of it in the process, but it took a while to get it there. It took a lot of taking it apart and stuff like that. This one is much nicer. It's got a better detent feel, throws better. It came more, flickable and usable out of the box. The Emphasis was really kind of funky. This one was really good. You can also see the phosphor bronze washers right there. I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about that. That's definitely going to allow access to pocket lint and stuff in there. They do pass through all the way, but it's definitely going to allow crud to get in there. So I'm not super happy about how they chose to do those pocket clip holes. I mean, it's a 4-position pocket clip. You can carry it however you want, but I kind of wish maybe they found a way to make it so that didn't go quite all the way through or something. Fortunately, the washers will prevent too much crud from going completely through, or not completely through, from getting into the pivot itself. They'll get around the washers, but they shouldn't get on the washers. The washers are kind of crappy quality. Look, you can kind of see they're kind of tore up around the edges. They're not great, but like I said, these ones are better than the ones that were on the Emphasis, and they function pretty well. Even if they look pretty low quality. Just what it is, I guess. Moving on from there, you have G10 handle scales, standard sort of slightly tacky texture. Though I have to say, this is one thing. Normally, I don't really like how Spyderco does, well, it's G10 first of all, and its edges. They have chamfers on them, but they're very abrupt. And you really feel how boxy it is. And the Emphasis, though a little bit better than the Parrot PM2, was the same, kind of, a little bit. You could really tell how sudden the change in angle was. This one, however, I think I said it when I unboxed it. This is kind of what I wanted from Spyderco in, if you're going to get a Spyderco budget knife. These have much larger actual angles and chamfers on them, and it's really nicely softened and finished, and the G10 feels pretty good. I will say, the Emphasis G10 also felt good, but it just feels more, I don't know, comfortable or finished or something, and slightly more ergonomic. So that's good right there. The lock bar is jimped. Don't love seeing that, but it's minor jimping, so it's not uncomfortable. And of course, they gave you so much freaking lock bar access that yeah, you can come from the side and really never really have to deal with the jimping. I honestly don't know why they jimped the dang thing. If they're going to give you that much flat, just don't even waste your time, right? Just maybe put a slight chamfer on it, and you'd probably be just fine. But fine. We already talked about the ergos. They're very neutral, very straightforward, very good, honestly. Spyderco ergos tend to be good, in my opinion. Sometimes, like on the PM2, they can be undone by some of the chamfering decisions and stuff like that, but for the most part, the shapes are usually pretty well thought out for Spydercos. Standoffs, multiple standoffs, probably. Honestly, I don't even know if it needed this one, but yeah, standoffs galore. There is some weight reduction in there. That's probably how they got it down, though. Still, not all that much weight reduction, considering it only weighs 5 ounces, and it's a large knife. You've got your standard lipped barrel spacer for your lanyard tube that I don't like on Spydercos that tend to keep them from popping apart. This one wasn't too bad to get apart, but I don't know. I'm not sold on the methodology that they use, because these things are, lipped around and tend to hold the knife together, and it's a pain in the butt to deal with most of the time. But it's there. So, lanyard people, you got your thing. And they, of course, put their weird clip around it for some reason. Whatever. Pocket clip is standard Spyderco fare, more or less. Though I will say this one is actually much more softened than even the one on my PM2. It's more comfortable. It's actually not bad. Like, I don't like the clip on the PM2. The edges are slightly harder. It just, for being not a deep carry clip, which is normally what emphasizes comfort, in my hands, I feel like a lot of it touching. Maybe it's because of where it is on the PM2, because the lanyard hole is forcing it down. If it was further up, it probably would be okay. This one, because it's not prioritized over the the lanyard hole is not technically prioritized over it. This one, you feel it, but it's almost disappearing. It's really quite good here. And also, interestingly enough, this one doesn't have as much of a flat on the end as, again, PM2. Why this has that flat on the end is beyond me. This one's closer to a continuous rise, and actually makes it get in and out of the pocket easier. It is tight. It's a steel clip, and it's a little tight, but it actually works pretty well. I actually kind of like this better than or a lot better than the one on the PM2. And I can't really compare it to the Emphasis. The Emphasis was a wire clip, which is, wire clips. You're going to feel them, but let's be honest, they work well. You love them or you hate them. Okay. So, it is also now centered, and there's no play. Though, no, there's no play. A little bit of wiggle, mostly because the blade wiggles, but there's no actual play in the pivot. So, yeah. This is a really good knife. I like this one. I'm really happy with this one compared to the Emphasis, compared, honestly, to even some of the quirks that I don't like about the PM2. I like this. I wish it was even just this one step up into 9CR would be kind of pretty nice, and I think pretty doable, in my opinion. So, what are we looking at price here? We're looking at, they typically seem to be around $74. I know that's a weird number, but they do. 73 something something for some reason. So, no, wait, is it 73 or is it 72? It's $71.99 or $73.89 or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I looked it up literally before I did this, but I got interrupted by dogs. So that throws everything out of the window when dog needs, or demands, demands is more like it, absolute attention. So, unlike the Emphasis, which before it was discounted and discontinued, was over $80 and made 0 sense whatsoever. Yes, they gave you a large full steel backspacer, and yes, I like that, but this being $80 and lower quality than this kind of hurt it pretty substantially. I could not recommend this. I got mine at like $55, and even then I'm like, ooh, that they could have done better on that. At $70-ish, $75 for your standard, what you're looking at for this one, at this size of it is, what the amount of material you're getting, yeah, I can kind of see it. I, again, still definitely think they should upgrade the steel slightly, just 9CR, 14C, something in the slightly improved territory of budget steels. Especially considering, like, Spyderco is known for its quality heat treats and quality steels. And, I mean, is that the case with the Spydercos coming out of China? I don't know. I don't have the means to compare them. So, this is good so far, 8CR, but it's also really insanely good geometry for 8CR or any steel with this super thin edge and everything. So, how much is that changing? I mean, the Emphasis 8CR was not that good. I've already sharpened it and probably have to touch it up again because it was funky and the grinds were horrible on this thing. This thing had grind weirdness all over the place. This has none of that. It's much more consistent. The edge bevels from side to side are, I mean, one's a little taller than the other on this side, but for budget territory stuff, and I draw the line of budget at $75, yeah, I think this one's pretty reasonable and pretty good. Even though it's right on the edge there, you're definitely getting a lot, even in 8CR, even if I don't like that. However, one thing I want to say is, this knife seems to be on sale a lot. Especially on Amazon, which is where I'm going to link it to. As of the recording of this video, I think on Amazon it was $60. And I got it for $60-ish on Amazon, I believe. They seem to be on sale relatively frequently for some reason, especially on Amazon. Don't know why, but at that price, yeah, it's worth it. It's a good, solid pocket knife. It's got the Spyderco brand kind of standing behind it a little bit, and I guess maybe that'll do something. It should, right? It should offer up some sort of quality or backup or something like that. I mean, it's coming out of China, you never know, but yeah, the Resilience is a good pocket knife, and I definitely can recommend it, and I'll link it down below. As I said, no problems here. I'm quite a bit happier with this. This is kind of what I want from Spyderco. This is more in line of when you think Spyderco setting itself apart in its styling and everything like that, and things that they, refuse to change or update or do anything about. You kind of expect it to come with a certain standard a little bit, and this one did not. This one, on the other hand, is quite good. So, yeah. I'm going to end things here. Say thank you very much for watching. Consider liking and subscribing to the channel for more and to help us grow and hopefully get better as I grow. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next one. Ta-ta for now. See ya.